Howdy y'all, this is Texas Gaming Industries here, and welcome to episode 22, part 17 on my Let's Play Transport Fever 2. In the previous episode, with our glass delivered to the White Wine Winery in Strasbourg, we're now starting the last bits of white wine that needs to be taken to the fairgrounds. Hopefully, in this episode, we'll finally get that done, and hopefully we'll also start transporting machinery into Paris. I don't think we'll be able to get over 1,000 people to the event, but we'll have to wait and see. All the while, let's have a look at some of my trains. Okay. This one is still picking up steel. This one is still picking up lumber. Actually, I think I'll just swap this around and swap this around. I think there's plenty of steel and lumber to be taken over to Calais, bound for the machine factory in Dover. Let's see. The ships in the port have 162 units of steel. This one has 88. So, I think the second run of lumber and steel will basically be the one that finished the contract. And of course, my vehicles have somehow started to basically revert back to the commodities they don't have. Which means this one has to wait for another load of white wine to be made. But thankfully, since there's loads of glass available, I won't have to worry about that for now. So far, the Paris exposition still has tons of chocolate, wine, champagne, and cheese. 283 units. Though I kind of wish there was another destination I could drop off champagne other than just Paris. The sugar and cocoa beans are still waiting at the port. This train is now basically have nothing on board, which is not great. The chocolate bar train is empty. And what about the fish trains? 3, 1. It's kind of funny, really. It should basically be having a full load. However, there's a lot of cotton waiting to be picked up and to be taken away. And this one is still waiting to be fully loaded with cotton bound for the light bulb factory. All the while, there is no glass available, so they can't produce light bulbs. Fortunately, one of my trains that's bound for, basically, Dijon has left already. Oh. It doesn't have any glass on board. Great. Let me see. Still no cattle. I don't get it. I connected to almost every industry available to transport cattle, but it's just not working. However, some of my ships had delivered full loads of, well, building materials in, so it's all good. Let's see. Cheese factory is still going pretty well. Got loads of milk. We're still making a load and loads of money. The coal mine at Searsbrook is still going strong, and our sandstone train from the previous episode has arrived to pick up the loads of sandstone for the glass factory. And then, where is that train of steel? Alright, it's heading through Verdun. It will just have to build a loop to go around a bit of a long loop. But once that steel arrives at Calais along with the lumber, these two ships can then take the loads of, well, lumber and steel over to this machine factory. It should be enough to basically fill the ship to capacity. And this train basically has enough room for about 280 units. I think I should reduce that to 210. Our bakery in Lily is still producing a good amount of food. However, we have not delivered any baked goods to Metz or Searsbrook, and no matter how much I try, I haven't been able to get any commodities delivered to Dwers. I am not basically building a long canal just to connect this. It doesn't seem very logical to do so. However, one of my ferry services has been making a pretty steady profit. Not a whole bunch of passengers on board, but at least it's still transporting a good amount. Can't say the same for Channel Ferry A. It's only carrying 6. According to its charts, and only the most it transported in its entirety was just 16. While this one, the highest it's been able to deliver was 102. So, I'm afraid, due to these finances, I'll have to shut this service down. It's just not worth it. I'm operating an unprofitable service. Speaking of which, this one is supposed to carry what exactly? Food? This ship will have to go too, because it's just not delivering food. And Wagon Convoy A, which was supposed to pick up food, will have to go as well. However, at least baked goods are going to be going up to Biscone. Though, this train basically had its commodity reverted to something else. And speaking of which, where is my lumber train? Ah, there it is. So it's just taking the normal route that my sandstone train would normally take to deliver its material to, well, Paris. Alright, stations are still doing pretty good. There's still plenty of wine being made, and this train is starting to be getting full by the moment or so. Hopefully, it will soon have enough, because I need at least 197 units to completely finish this contract. So I'm going to cut this video right here, and I'll see you all in a moment once these loads of white wine finally arrive in Paris, and we can finally say au revoir to this mission in Paris. And we're back. With our wine finally arriving in Paris, our wagon convoy A4 will finally pick them up and take it to the fairgrounds. All the while, you might notice on why there's not many vehicles on the map. I hate to say it, but I had decided to sell off all the vehicles, only leaving the ones that were absolutely necessary. This basically meant that most of the other services I had in the game have moved on. But that is totally fine. Besides, I already gotten the other services finished already. And besides, I said besides twice already. Anyway, I'm just basically trying to get the last bits of stuff delivered to their respective destinations. Like 200 machinery to Paris. Because that is basically very much needed. And why did that ship have to do a spin? I don't understand why. Okay, the ship will come in and drop off its load of machinery, and this train will pick up the entirety of the load. Only 8 has been brought into town, but that is totally fine. Wait, that's it? Only 87 machines? How is this not even possible? Oh my gosh. Ugh, never mind. We'll just see on how much I'll be able to earn from this shipment. It won't be enough to basically satisfy Paris's demands. But that's the only thing left, though. But thankfully, though, with over 200 units of white wine brought in, it should basically be enough needed for the Paris exposition grounds. Hopefully, this train could basically reach the end of the line in Paris and drop off some machinery for the end of, well, the mission. As there's still tons and tons of wine to be brought over into, well, exposition grounds, so it won't take too much longer. But yeah, I have to say that out of the 17 parts, I have basically built myself a very big and very profitable transportation network. I was able to earn a load of money over time, and I built myself a very large set of track work. Although it stopped here, but then as I expanded to other countries, this went up. My towns basically peaked pretty well as well, but they basically on a decline because of the lack of traffic. And here comes the machine train now. Traveling around and delivering the last needed machines needed in. Of course, my vehicles have started to age because I basically stopped paying high amounts of money on their maintenance costs. 3.98 million francs. That's a pretty good amount of money. It will only deliver 87 units. However, the wagons are picking up the last units of wine and soon will be finished. I'm quite surprised on how this mission went so far. Compared to Sao Paulo, this one was actually a lot more easier than I anticipated, because most of the commodities I needed was on the map. Though a few things I needed to do to connect to other towns was very needed. Like, if I wanted to make chocolate, I had to impress Belgium. If I wanted to deliver light bulbs and food to England, I would have to impress them by delivering champagne. Same for the other countries, too. But all in all, I have to say that this was basically, out of all the campaigns, this had to basically be the most profitable campaign mission in this particular, well, modded campaign series. As you all know, the most profitable scenario I had was in Era 3, set in Florida in the 1980s, in the normal vanilla campaign. And this, basically, is now the modded variant, so to speak. Anything else? Well, all of my trains can basically go now. I have no further use. Though once the last loads of wine have been brought in, I can secretly get the services back up and running. Though I don't know where these loads of champagne, cheese, and wines and chocolates will go. Maybe I could just bring them, theoretically, if I had the chance, to Le Havre Calais to be exported to the United States, and maybe brought further east to various countries such as Germany and Switzerland. Alright, here's the last 10 white wine. The Exposition Universelle of 1889 was a highly successful international exposition. Well, expedition. In one of the few World's Fairs to make a profit. Its central attraction was the Eiffel Tower, 300-meter high marble of iron by Gustave Eiffel. Over 80 other structures on the Champ de Mars housed exhibits, including the impressive 1,452-foot-long Galerie des Machines by Ferdinand Dutart. And that is the finishing blow for our mission in Paris. So, with that done, let's head to the main menu and see what our next mission will take us.
In 1919, a previously unidentified fungus struck the coffee plantations of Ceylon. In a very few years, the blight, known as devastating Emily, destroyed the coffee economy of the island. Ceylon's coffee never recovered, and in time it was replaced by planting tea,
which we'll be covering in the next episode.
Mankind is constantly creating.
So, if you enjoyed this episode of my Let's Play of Transport Fever 2, please be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to Texas Gaming Industries for new video uploads every Friday or Saturday, depending on my outside schedule. And as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next episode. Bye!